To be devoted, it's not easy. I must say, when I mentioned just be devoted to him, it may sound very, very simple, but it is not that simple. As we are devoted to many other things in this world, that's the problem. Since we are devoted to too many people and to material pleasures, to material gratification, how would you be easily devoted to him? Ramanuja says, devotion as a result, eventually as a product of jnana, is bhakti rupa panna jnana. Bhakti rupa, the form of devotion. Which takes the form of devotion? Jnana. When jnana matures, it becomes bhakti. Mere jnana will not grant you moksham, but jnana and love, jnana and affection, jnana and kindness, they make a great devotion. That's bhakti. Bhaktischa jnana visheshaha taila dharavat avichinna smriti santana rupam. It's like a chain. A chain, if I have a chain in my hand, I have the last coupling in my hand, and the first one is tied to the door. If I pull the chain, the door closes. If I release the chain, the door opens. So I am connected to the door through this chain. This chain is as strong as the weakest coupling. The chain is strong only as the weakest couple possible, weakest link possible. Similarly, I am connected to Lord through bhakti. The chain is bhakti. That bhakti is the bridge between me and Lord. If at all there is some detachment, if there are some weakness in the bhakti that I perform, then the whole chain is in trouble. Adhanale, taila dharavat avichinna smriti santana rupam. This chain must be strong. Every link in this chain must be strong, and this chain must lead me to Bhagavan. That is bhakti. Taila dharavat avichinna smriti santana rupam. Swami Ramanuja pleads to Venkateshwara to bless him with that bhakti rupa apanna jnana. Apanna, that which has matured. Bhakti rupa apanna, that which has matured to take the form of bhakti. Which has matured? Jnana. Bhakti rupa apanna jnana. The jnana that has matured to become bhakti. So without jnana, no moksham. But yes, I have jnana. If it does not mature to bhakti, no moksham. Please take it both ways. If I stop with jnana, I don't go to Vaikuntham. Yes, Swami, I have bhakti, but without jnana, I don't go to Vaikuntham. It has to be jnana matured to be bhakti, shemushi bhakti rupa. So Ramanuja pleads that in his first sloka of Sri Bhashyam. I have now mentioned to you about two beautiful works. Vedartha Sangraha, which is a treatise on the Upanishads. Sri Bhashyam, which is a very detailed explanatory commentary on Vedavyasa's Brahma Sutram. These two texts talk about Upasana, Bhakti as the means for salvation. Ramanuja added two more texts, Vedanta Sara and Vedanta Deepa. These were a brief commentary on Brahma Sutra and a little more detailed commentary on the Brahma Sutra. The most detailed commentary is Sri Bhashyam. I had already mentioned about that to you. Sri Bhashyam has 4 chapters, 4 adhyayas and 156 adhikaranas. Adhyaya, adhikarana, pada, sutra. There are 4 different sections. Adhyaya, 4 adhyayams. And within each adhyaya, there are 4 padams. One adhyaya has 4 padams. Totally for 4 adhyayas, 16 padams. Don't you see that the moon is full after 16 days? Once in 15 days, it's waxing and the waning moon. So it slowly fills up. It becomes full. It slowly wanes down. It reduces, it depletes, and finally it is Amavasya. As this Purna Chandra on the full moon day, as the moon is full of its quality, full of its cool effulgence, Venkateshwara is always full of his effulgent qualities. So he is the moon. 16 padas. In Brahma Sutra, there are 16 padas. 4 adhyayas, 16 padas, 156 glorious adhikaranas, and 545 sutras. Sutra, each one is an aphorism. Small one. Athato Brahma Jignasa, Janmadhyasya Yataha, Tattu Samanvyat, Shastra Yonitvat, Ikshaterna Shabdam. Each one is a sutra by itself. It will be very brief, hardly about 2-3 words. There are sutras which has only 1 word, but still the commentary would run to pages. Swami, is this commentary for that 1 word? Yes, not only for that 1 word. By the time you finish the commentary, you would have forgotten all words. Not that one. By the time you finish, he would have answered to so many Mayavadis, so many Vadis. You have Bauddha, Jaina, Sankhya, Kapila, Vaisheshika, Nayyayika, Yogachara, Madhyamika, so many. Buddha had 4 disciples, each one had his own philosophy. Jaina had a Saptabhangi philosophy, Shankara Bhaskara, Yadava Bhatta, Prabhakara, Tangalmata. All these people are Purupakshis. They are all Vadis. Ramanuja has to establish the dictum of Vedanta itself. So what we say is, Akhila Bhavana Janma, Shemushi Bhakti Rupa, Parashadya Vachassudam, Upanishad Duddhabdi Madhyodritam, Samsaragni Vidipana Vyapadagat Pranatma Sanjeevanim, Purvacharya Surakshitam, Bahumadi Vyagada Durastitam, Anitantu Nijaksharaihi, Sumanasaha, Bhauma Pibantwan Vaham. This is the second benedictory verse for Shivashya, where he says, Parashadya Vachassudha, Sudha, the nectarine Brahma Sutra. Parasharya, Parasharas, Kumara, Parasharya was Vedavyasa. Parasharya Vachassudha, Upanishad Dugdhabdi Madhyodritam. Where from was it taken? Upanishad Dugdhabdi. When Krishna churned the ocean of milk, he got Amrita. When Vedavyasa churned the ocean of Upanishads, he got Brahma Sutra. So Brahma Sutra is a product, is the essence of the Upanishads. Parashadya Upajasudam, Upanishad Dugdhabdi Madhyodritam, Samsaragni Vidipana Vyapagata Pranatma Sanjeevanin. It is the best medicine to this samsara. Whereas many people touched Brahma Sutra, they analyzed, they drew it to the extent possible, and they misinterpreted as per their brains whatever it told. As per the whims and fancies, many gave wrong interpretations to Brahma Sutra, so it was not in his royal honored seat. Instead, it was thrown near the trash. Ramanuja took birth and brought it back to its own glory. It had lost the glory. Ramanuja brought back the glory of Vedanta, gave its royal throne, Upanishad Dugdhabdi Madhyodritam, Samsaragni Vidipana Vyapagata, Pranatma Sanjeevanim, Purvacharya Surakshitam. It was well maintained by Purvacharyas, but unfortunately lost as the time passed. Now Ramanuja regained its lost glory. Bhagumati Vyagada Durastitam, Anitantu Nijaksharaihi, verbatim. To every syllable he interpreted, he gave the right meaning of Vedanta. Thus was born Shivashya. So Vedarth Sangraha, Shivashya. Then a shorter commentary to Brahma Sutram was Vedanta Sara and Vedanta Deepa. I have now mentioned to you about 4. There are totally 9. As the 9 gems are popular, as the 9 dhanya, the millets, the dhanyas are popular. There are many navarasas are popular. Navarasa, Navadhanya, Navaratna. There are so many Nava in this world. Nava has 2 meanings. 1, 9. 2, new. Navo Navo Bhavati Jayamanaha. So Ramanuja also authored 9 texts. You read them today. You might have read them many times in your life. You read them today, they'll be quite fresh for you. They'll be quite new. They at least give you one new message for today. Don't we write in the notice board, today's new message? What are all? When you go to temples or go to schools, they write today's message, please read. Similarly, Ramanuja's works also has today's message. Every day you open the book, that gives you a new message. Now let us go to the 5th great work. That work was Gita Bhashya, the glorious commentary, a detailed one to Sri Krishna's Bhagavad Gita. Why did Ramanuja write all this? There was someone who prompted him to do. Ramanuja's Acharya was Periyanambigal, Mahapurnar. Periyanambigal's Acharya was Yamunacharya. Yamunacharya was also called as Alavandar. He was the presiding pontiff. He held the coveted post of Sri Vaishnava Adhipati at Srirangam. His mutt was in Srirangam. He was serving Lord Sri Ranganatha. He suddenly departed this material world. He shed his body. Before he could get Ramanuja to his fold, although he has sent his messenger Periyanambigal to Kanchipuram to fetch Ramanuja to Srirangam with an intention to give away the baton to him. But that didn't happen. By the time Ramanuja reached, Alavandar had departed. Ramanuja did not have the opportunity to communicate with Alavandar, to receive anything from him. He was quite depressed. So he returned to Kanchipuram, even without having darshan of Ranganatha. So a saying in Shiva Vaishnava Sampradayam goes, if I don't get the blessings of my Acharya, I would not even have darshan of Perumal. Perumal is only through Acharya. If my Acharya does not bless me, let me see Perumal later. இப்ப இல்ல அப்புறம் தான் பார்க்கணும். ஏன் அப்படி சொல்றீங்கன்னால் ஆச்சாரிய முகேன பகவத் தர்சனம், not without Acharya. If you go directly, even when you come here, if there is no priest inside, if the Archaka is not in his place, you can't go near the Lord. He is his rightful representative. You may be a devotee, but still wait. He has to come. He has to enter the Garbhagraham. Only then we have the right to perform our puja. So Acharya mukhena bhagavad darshanam. Alavandar was the Acharya who called for Ramanuja. But unfortunately Ramanuja could not have darshan of Alavandar. So dejected, he returned to Kanchipuram. This was their failed first meeting. But even in that failure, there was a great success which was set in motion. The success was Ramanuja was having darshan of the last Tirumeni. The remaining Tirumeni, if I can say so, I can't say body, but still it is body. Tirumeni is the right word, because if you say it as a body that has no life, it's all for us. We can, of course, talk it in that language for our bodies, whereas that was a body of a great noble soul. It was the last Tirumeni of Alavandar. When Ramanuja cited the Tirumeni, somehow 3 fingers were folded. Ramanuja questioned the people there, the disciples, why are these 3 fingers folded? Has he any unfulfilled wish in his mind? They said, yes, we know of that unfulfilled wish. One, he wanted someone in the Sampradaya to write a commentary on Brahma Sutram. That was his first wish. Ramanuja accepted. With his blessings, let me do that. I will accomplish that. Then the second one, he wanted to name some child after the name of Parashara Maharishi. Parashara was the author of Vishnu Purana. He had done a great service to humanity. So I would like someone to be named after Parashara. Yes, I would do. Then Swami Nammalvar, who had totally translated the essence of Vedanta, of Samaveda and Chandogya Upanishad, can you name someone after Nammalvar, after Shatakopa? Ramanuja accepted. So these were the unfulfilled wishes of Alavandar. Once Ramanuja accepted, all the 3 fingers straightened. This is what happened there. So he was ordained by Alavandar to write a commentary, Shibhashyam. So he was prompted. He just followed the directive of Alavandar. That was one. Alavandar had also written 32 verses on Gita. It's known as Gitartha Sangraham. Gitartha Sangraham. Gita has 700 verses. Gitartham probably will be much more. If the verses themselves are 700, you can't even count how many meanings they would have. And it was Sarveshwara himself who has preached. Even when we preach, there are many meanings which are bouncers above our head. If Bhagavan talks, will they be below us? It's very difficult to comprehend. So Bhagavan's Bhagavad Gita had many great meanings. In order that even a common man is able to recall it quickly, Alavandar helps us with a simple notes. The notes is 32 shlokas. Those shlokas are collectively known as Gitartha Sangraha. Swadharma, Jnana, Vairagya, Sadhya Bhaktyeka Gocharaha, Narayanaha Parambrahma, Gita Shastre Samiritaha. This is the first shloka. Prompted by Gitartha Sangraha, Ramanuja wrote a detailed commentary, Bhagavad Gita Bhashyam. That's known as Ramanuja Bhashyam. So that's the 5th work. Shri Bhashyam, Vedar Sangraham, Vedanta Saram, Vedanta Sri Deepam, Gita Bhashyam. Now we have completed 5. All these talk about, please note, all these talk about Tattva, Hita, Purushartha. I had already mentioned that to you. The preface I had told you was Tattva, Hita, Purushartha. Tattvam, a study on real being. Purushartha, the goal. Hita, the means. The goal here is Bhagavan and Kaikarya. Tattva, Achit, Chit, Ishvara. So the best Tattvam is Ishvara. To reach Ishvara and serve him is my goal. Goal of who? Goal of this every Atma. Every Atman's objective is to reach him and serve him eternally. Tattvam is well defined. Purushartham is also clearly defined. The question is about the means, the upaya. What is the right upaya? Is Karma Yogam the upaya? Or Jnana Yoga? Or Bhakti Yoga? Or is there anything more than Bhakti Yoga? Ramanuja talked about Bhakti Yoga in Vedar Sangraha, Shri Bhashya, Vedanta Sara, Vedanta Deepa and Gita Bhashya. All through his 5 texts, he has stuck to Bhakti Yoga. Because that is the purport. That is the intent of the Upanishads. So Ramanuja well mentioned, he was true to the intent of the Upanishads. But later on he thought, is this Bhakti Yoga practical in the coming years? He thought about this 1,000 years ago, not today. 1,000 years ago, he knew how we would be in 2016 and 2017. He knew that. Adanal, it is not possible anymore. It's going to be too difficult for my children. So let me simplify, not dilute. Ramanuja never diluted anything, but of course simplify. It is nothing wrong to simplify, but it is heavily wrong to dilute. One should not dilute. One is authorized to simplify, not we. We cannot. There must be Yuga Purushas like Ramanuja to simplify, because one must have an authority to change anything. We don't have that authority. Authority, it doesn't even hold good in our own family. Then can we change the authority of Sanatana Dharma? Who listens to us? Nobody. If we say something, first we must listen. Swami, first can you respect your own words? You said to me that you will donate to the temple 1 week ago, but today you are going back on your words now. That was a week ago. So it's not possible today. Even with Nammuடைய resolution, Nammuடைய power. Whereas Ramanuja was not. He was the incarnation of Adisesha with the power and prowess of 5 divine weapons of Bhagavan. All the 5, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Asi, Khadga. All the 5 weapons bestowed their power on Ramanuja, and with that power and with honesty and loyalty, he sticks to his words. But still, he slowly thought the well-being of humanity in the coming years. The Bhakti Yoga, verily mentioned in the Upanishads, is no more going to be practical. It is Varnashrama Dharma based. Only a few can do. Only the really adept can do. Others cannot. They will fail practicing it. Instead, let me simplify. Let me search through the Shastras. Is there any other simple way mentioned by Bhagavan? He cannot invent a new way. He too is not authorized to do that. It has to be mentioned in the Shastras, but probably they have been hiding somewhere. They can be brought to light. That's what any Acharya can do. He cannot find anything new. In the scientific world, you have to find, invent, discover, new. Whether you discover or invent, it has to be new. Whereas in spiritual world, you find anything new, you are condemned. You cannot. Adil Swami, ivar buddhila thonadala solranenva. Appadi panna mudiyadhu. I cannot do whatever I want. It's called as Swakapola Kalpitam. This is my kapola. Something called a little brain inside. Swakapola Kalpitam. It is my own concoction. Adille. It has to be the concoction or the prescription of Vedanta. Ramanuja searched too. Finally, in his search, he got something. All your searches will not give you that. You have a great search engine. Ramanuja is the best search engine we have. The best engine is he searched through He Mune, Bhaktya, Paramayavapi, Prapatyava Mahamate. Bhagavan mentions in the Shastras as Bhaktya. You reach me either through the path of devotion, Bhaktya, Paramayavapi Prapatya, or through unconditional surrender. He just took notice of the 2 words, Bhaktya, Prapatya. Bhaktya, he mentioned and explained in the 5 works, Vedanta Deepa, Vedanta Sara, Shri Bhashya, Vedarth Sangraha, and Gita Bhashya. Now is the time to move on. Now is the time to slowly shift gears to Sharanagati, to Prapatti. So when Ramanuja had the opportunity to perform, he did not perform Bhakti Yoga. Instead, he performed Sharanagati. So to the lotus feet of Sri Ranganayaki and Sri Ranganatha, on a glorious, auspicious Panguni Uttaram day, on the day of Panguni Uttaram, Sri Ranganachiyar and Sri Ranganatha are in the same dais. They are seated together. All the 364 days they are separated. Separated does not mean the way we mean it. Separated, one in the north gate and one in the south gate. There are 2 different sanctum sanctorums. That's it. And this is the one day Sri Ranganatha visits the temple of Sri Ranganachiyar. They are together and the whole night Tirumanjanam, Tirumanjanam, Tirumanjanam. 18 times Bhagavan and Pirati have Tirumanjanam. And that was the day, the chosen day by Ramanuja. He pleaded to Ranganatha, can you grant me moksham? Let me surrender to you. And the process of surrender, the process of Sharanagati was explained in the first work, Sharanagati Gadyam. Gadyam means prose. Sharanagati Gadyam, the prose that explains the process of unconditional surrender is Sharanagati Gadyam. Ranganatha was with a smiling face. He requested Ramanuja, to whom are you surrendering? To Vaikunthanatha? Or Kanchi Devadiraja? Or Tirukkandapuram Shabari Perumal? Who is your deity? Who is the object of your surrender? Ramanuja said, it's you, O Ranganatha, Sri Ranganatha, Mamanatha. You are my Natha, you are my master, Sri Ranganatha, Mamanatha. I have offered the Sharanagati to you, Sri Ranganatha. So the second Gadyam was known as Sri Ranga Gadyam. First one was Sharanagati Gadyam. Second, Sri Ranga Gadyam. As the Sharanagati was towards the beneficiary of the Sharanagati, may be Ramanuja, but who is the grantor? The wish granting tree, the creeper, Sri Ranganatha. Then the third one, Ranganatha asks him, where do you want to reach? Yes, I know you have done your surrender. You did it towards me. Now I have to give you something. What do you want? Where would you like to reach? Oh Swami, not to my neighborhood town, but to Sri Vaikuntham. I would like to reach there. Reach there? Can you explain how to reach there? Ramanuja explained the process, the path where we travel, the invites which we receive, the honors that we receive, and where do we reach finally? Where do we take a dip in the holy river of Viraja? How are we transformed? Is it the same form or a different form? Is it a material form or a transcendental form? Are we then made of Panchabhuta or different bhutas? Everything was explained in the last Gadyam known as Vaikuntha Gadyam. So the third Gadyam was Vaikuntha Gadyam. Now do you know why these three Gadyams? The process of surrender explained in Sharanagati Gadyam. Surrender to which Lord? Ranganatha. His greatness was mentioned in the second Gadyam. And reach where? Vaikuntham. So he explained the beauty of Vaikuntham and the serene atmosphere, the people who are at Vaikuntham, the way that we will enjoy Bhagavan sitting at Vaikuntham, and that's eventually the goal of everyone. Nammalvar says, Andamil perinbatha adiyarodu irundamai kondalarbolil kuruhur chadahovan Vaihundam puhuvadu mannavar vidhiye. It's the directive of Bhagavan. It is imperative. It is inevitable that every Jivatma has to reach Vaikuntham or one day or the other. You cannot escape it. Agave, Alva Ramanuja sung these three glorious Gadyams. These are the only prose ones. There are other prose ones. He did not do any poetry. Did Ramanuja write any poetry? No. All these were commentaries now. Gita Bhashya, Shi Bhashya, Vedart Sara, Vedanta Zipa, Vedar Sangra are all commentaries in prose order. But this is a little of a poetry order, but more of a prose order. So they are collectively known as Gadyatrayam. If you keep them separate, there are three Gadyams. Collectively, Gadyatrayam. So 5 plus 3, that adds up to 8. We have now completed 8 works of Ramanuja. Then the last one is a little difficult one. Swami, is it difficult than his philosophy? We thought that Shi Bhashyam is very difficult. Shi Bhashyam is very difficult to study. But what I am going to tell you, the last work of Ramanuja is very difficult to practice. Because the Grantham is known as Nitya Grantham, where he lists all the duties of a Grihastha or a Sannyasi or a Vanaprastha or a Brahmachari, right from getting up at 4 a.m. in the morning and hitting your bed at 9:30 in the night. From then on to then, from 4 a.m. to 9:30, what do you do? What are the rituals to follow? What do you think? What about your meditation? How do you offer puja to God? How do you behave with your cohabitants? How do you behave with your citizens? How to behave with your relatives? What do you part with? What do you retain? Should you earn or not? Is earning bad or right? How do we offer services to God at different temples? Everything is mentioned there. So that's a very practical book. Right from morning to night, Nitya Grantham, Nitya Anusthana, Nitya Aradhana, and Nitya Anusandhana. Nitya Anusandhana, all the portions that we must recite every day. Nitya Anusthana, that we must practice day by day. And lastly, Nitya Aradhana, the puja that we should offer to Bhagavan. Nitya Aradhana, Nitya Puja. Nitya Anusandhana, recitation. Nitya Anusthana, taking bath and keeping yourself pure, or your Amavasya Tarpana, Masa Pravesha Tarpana, Shraddha, what not. Right from going to Kaveri, returning from Kaveri, he had explained all our duties in detail. So that's the last work of Ramanuja, Nitya Grantham. So if you can call 8 works as theory, one last work is a great laboratory practice. That's the only practical session. But to get to this practical session, this theory is very important. Unless you appreciate the theory portion, who will come to practice? Swami, it's very difficult. For material comfort, we are okay. We are in for it. But for spiritual comfort, we are not able to see spiritual comfort. Material comfort is perceivable. You can see, you can touch, you can really feel it. Whereas spiritual comfort is only, it's not perceptible. You can't see or touch, but still you can feel it. You can feel it, and the feeling and the result, the benefits of it are quite delayed. They are not immediate. We require only immediate results. If I do something, am I blessed now? If I go circumambulate, immediately I look at God. Are you going to give something? அப்படி நல்லா நடக்காது. காங்ஷந்த கர்மணாம் சித்தின் யஜந்தயிஹ தேவதாஹ க்ஷிப்ரம் ஹி மானுஷே லோகே சித்திர் பவதி கர்மஜா. Krishna himself mentions this in Bhagavad Gita. Kankshanta karmanam siddhin. Many people come to many gods, many demigods, Arjuna. They go for material pleasures, for gratification, sensual gratification. They also feed them because they want disciples. All these gods also want many. But you know why I don't give? I don't give any temporary benefits. I only grant them permanent ones. You know why people don't come to me? The moment I talk about a permanent goal, which would mean Vaikuntham, they don't come to me. They come only after they are 80 years old. If a 10-year-old boy comes and I tell him that, oh boy, do you want to come to Vaikuntham? He runs away. Rather, his parents will not get him at all. Adanaladhan kannante, not many people turn up. He waits, he is too patient. So Ramanuja, in his 9 works that talked about Tattva, Hita and Purushartha. Tattva was confirmed. Purushartha was quite clear. Whereas Hitam, Ramanuja chose 2 paths. He talked about Hitam in 5 works. He talked about the Hitam as Bhakti Yoga in his 5 works. Hitam as Sharanagati in Gadyatrayam. Lastly, what should a Sharanagata practice? If you have unconditionally surrendered to God, then you have to be devoted to Him. All your antenna must be tuned towards Him. Do whatever He pleases Him. Abstain from whatever displeases Him. Thus saying, Ramanuja completed his 9 glorious works. Tasmai Ramanujaryaya Namah Paramayogine Yashruti Smriti Sutranam Antarjvaram Ashishamat. There is a mutual apparent contradiction between the verses of Upanishads. Ramanuja ironed them out. They reconciled the apparent, he reconciled the apparent contradictions. They were not real ones. They were apparent. Ramanuja greased out, he ironed out the differences and came out with a beautiful fabric of Vedanta in its true sense. So let us offer our gratitude to Ramanuja by effectively, meaningfully celebrating the millennium year of Ramanuja. He was born in 1017. We are now fastly approaching 2017. How can we celebrate? The best way is to study his text. What else can it be? We have to study his text and act, conduct ourselves as he wanted us to do. If you do that, that is the best offering we can do to Ramanuja with these words. I thank the temple authorities, Venkateshwara himself for having given me an opportunity to talk about Ramanuja's works. Shriman Mahabhutapure, Srimad Keshava Yajjunaha, Kantimatyam Prasutaya, Yatirajaya Mangalam. And I pray that Lord Ramanuja blesses us all in this auspicious day. Thank you.